Welcome to this week's edition of Mob Talk. I'm Dave Stratweiser.
And I'm George Anastasia with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
All right, George, we can't take you away from the shore, but we can bring Mob Talk to you here at the Jersey Shore. People are going to wonder where the heck we are down here.
Secret location.
Secret location
at the South Jersey Shore.
We're keeping your vacation spot secret.
There you go.
All right, but we're going to talk a little bit this week about bent finger Lou Monticello out of prison. Rumors are maybe even down the shore and maybe cooperating.
Yeah, it's a unique situation. The feds opposed bail, didn't want him out, he was a danger to come out, and then all of a sudden they are no longer opposing bail, filed some documents under seal, and now he's out. We don't know all the circumstances because the documents are not accessible to us, but in that kind of circumstance, ordinarily, it's an indication somebody might be cooperating. That's the word on the street. On the other hand, we're hearing maybe that's not the case. Some people are saying that Lou has folded like one of these cheap beach chairs, and it's the tough guy is now a cooperator.
Oh, you're staying with the beach theme.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, you're in that mode, is that what you're telling me? All right, let's talk a little bit about his value here. If he does cooperate, if he is cooperating, who does he hurt the most?
I think the two people that got hurt the most are George Borghese, who was the guy he reported to, and Joe LIGAMBI. I mean, you guys got that tape of him meeting with LIGAMBI. We've seen the video. Now you got a guy who's going to say, here's what we were talking about. Is it relevant to the investigation? Borghese, I think, is even in deeper trouble because he was the guy allegedly giving orders to Monticello while he's out on the streets. The other thing, if Monticello is cooperating, the other thing it does is it strengthens the testimony and the tapes made by Frankie the Fixer DiGiacomo, because he's going to corroborate everything DiGiacomo's saying.
Also, Lou, I'm told, hurts former mob captain Marty Angelina a little bit, who's also in jail, because there was this whole tiff about him wanting to go after Angelina for trying to collect money that he was owed, stuff like that.
See, that's the interesting thing. We've never heard the full story on that. But yeah, when Monticello allegedly at one point wanted to have Angelina killed, another point wanted to have him beaten up, that dispute centered on the collection of loan shark debts. Whose money was it? Who put it out there? Who was entitled to it? So yeah, he can probably jackpot Angelina in terms of that particular phase of this investigation as well.
All right, now LIGAMBI, how much does he hurt him? He settles that whole dispute over the money, and that's caught on tape.
That reinforces the whole theory of the Fed's cases. LIGAMBI's the boss, and when there's a problem involving money, he's the guy you go to. He's got the power, he's got the control. And Monticello, if he's cooperating, he's going to be in a position to say, yeah, I had this problem, here's the guy I went to see. So yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, from what we know at this point, I don't know that Monticello brings anything new to the table, but I think he makes everything the feds already have on the table that much stronger.
All right, is it a slam dunk against Borghese and LIGAMBI when you have that?
I would think. I mean, the case, I think, was strong against those two to begin with, and I think this just makes it stronger. The other thing it does, and think about this, and this is kind of an internal family kind of thing, Borghese's got a lousy track record in terms of who he brings around.
Yeah.
If you remember back in the late 1990s, he's bringing around Bobby Louisi, Boston Bob. And Boston Bob all of a sudden becomes a government cooperator.
Right.
Now he brings Monticello into the circle. Now Monticello's a cooperator. So it doesn't do much for his standing as a wise guy who knows what he's doing out there. He's bringing in guys who, like I said, fold like a beach chair.
All right. Now, Monticello is only looking at, from what I understood, 5 to 7 years max if he's cooperating. A lot of people asking why. Couldn't he handle 5 to 7 years in prison? Sounds like to me the businessman, entrepreneur that he is, he couldn't.
You know, if he's cooperating, that's the case. And if he's cooperating, this whole veneer that he tried to put out as a real tough guy was just that, a veneer, because there's not much behind it. I mean, these guys laugh at the fact you got to do 5 years, you can't do it. What kind of guy are you? On the other hand, you know, maybe there's stuff we're not seeing. Maybe there's more to the case.
Absolutely.
And that'll play out. This is not going to go to trial for at least another year. So there may be more here, and we'll have to watch and see what other kind of documents get filed. Do we get a superseding indictment? Is there additional charges? All of those things are probable.
All right, if I'm a defense attorney and Monticello gets on the stand against me, one of the things I'm going to bring up is the Gavone's restaurant in South Philadelphia. There's a new sign tacked on the wall by the bankruptcy court, sheriff's sale, $611,000 owed to Wells Fargo Bank on that property, according to the documents, and it goes up for sheriff's sale in September.
Yeah, I mean, that was an establishment that he set up, and you know, that I think can cut either way. You can say, yeah, you know, you're trying to get out from underneath these kind of problems, you're cooperating. On the other hand, when he opened Gavone's, that was identified as a place where LIGAMBI and those guys were going to hang out, and If he can speak to that and their involvement in that, then you make his whole connections and association stronger. So bringing up that whole Gavone situation as a defense attorney, there's a plus and there's a minus and all of that. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Let's not get away from George Borghese for a minute. If, in fact, Monticello hurts him that bad, he's the guy the feds really want to cooperate. We don't think that's going to happen, but this puts even more pressure on him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy, like we've said before, he thought he was going to be in a halfway house by this next year. That's obviously not going to be the case now. Now he's looking at 8 to 10 more years in prison, perhaps. If he wants to get out from underneath that, then he's going to have to give them more than what they have, and what they clearly want from him is information about murders. They don't have enough right now to make that part of the case, but there are several murders unsolved that they want to put into this if they could.
We got the can opener out this week. They're opening up the can of discovery this week, July 29th. The defense team start to get some of the evidence in this case. We're not going to be allowed to see it because there's a gag order that kind of bars us from seeing any of that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean we won't, but on the face of things, we won't. We start getting discovery, we start to see what's in this case.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more than just snippets of tape conversation. We'll see the full tape conversations. You have a better idea of the context of what was being said, how it was being said, how it was recorded. Is somebody wearing a body wire, or is it a wiretap? Is it a bug in a car? Those kind of things. So all of that will, I think it's going to put the cards on the table. The feds are going to say to the defense, here's what we got. You want to go to trial or you want to plead out.
All right. Now, do they turn over the whole deck? Or as it comes out in dribs and drabs?
I think they turn over the whole deck eventually, but it's piecemeal. I'm going to give you some. I mean, part of it is just the volume. You can't just give them all at once.
And your investigation?
Yeah, you're never going to be able to look at it all at once anyway. So
14,000 wiretap
exactly. So they'll give it all, and Eddie Jacobs, who's representing the Ligambi, is a master at assessing and listening and analyzing all the tapes. And you can bet he'll spend hours and hours going over it, looking for little things that play against the government's theory of what was going on. So, we got a long way to go yet in terms of discovery, and a long way to go yet before we get to trial.
George, let's wrap this up for this week. I know you need to get back to the beach and your vacation. Your thoughts going down the road here with all this discovery stuff here?
Well, I think we don't know only a piece of this case. I think there's a lot more to come out. I think they got a strong case based on what we've seen, and it's probably even stronger because of the things we have not seen.
Okay. That's it for Mob Talk this week. We'll see you again next week.